Okay, let's move on. Now, what potential problems could there be with this device? Well, first of all, there could be the image might be, everything might look nice, but there could be thin lines on the picture, visible even to the naked eye. So you don't need to, right. What causes these lines? There are 6 nozzles here, through which the ink is sprayed, right? These strips consist of many, I think several dozen, tiny holes. Nozzles, exactly. If some of the nozzles get clogged, say with red ink or with black or white, then lines appear. That is in those places where the ink doesn't spray out, doesn't get printed, lines appear. The method for dealing with such problems, there are only 2 options. You remove the printhead and clean it. That is, you use a syringe. Oh, I've got a syringe over there. Distilled water, and you rinse it out. You simply flush out the clog in the nozzles with a stream of water. Or the second option, you don't remove anything and just repeatedly run cleaning cycles and tests in cleaning, test, cleaning, test. But this results in a massive consumption of ink. In other words, everything is flushed out with ink. So you run a cleaning cycle, then test, then clean again, then test again, and in doing so, you flush out the nozzles that aren't working, that are clogged, or that have dried out a bit. Which method is better? I don't know, because I used to always run the ink through, but I realized that ink is expensive and a lot of it gets used up. Later, I started removing and just cleaning with, well, here's my setup, right? So, distilled water, a syringe, and you just flush each nozzle. Not every single nozzle, but you flush each color. Which option you choose, I don't know. But here are 2 options. Either just pump the ink through the cycle, pumping, test, until it breaks through, or rinse with distilled water. The second point, besides streaks, color mixing starts to happen. That is, you see on the test print. And then even, God forbid, of course, on the actual image that's being printed, that the inks are mixing. Yellow, for example, comes out with a blue tint. You can see this in the test, like black with white, for instance. Well, basically, it's like the colors are mixing. This means that the partitions in this printhead have burned through. So in this situation, it definitely means the printhead needs to be replaced. There are plastic partitions inside the printhead, and over time, even if you don't print, it doesn't matter. The ink is very toxic, and it just eats away at these partitions. I can't say how long it takes because it varies. The printheads are different, the inks are different, and the partitions are different too. But the fact is it does happen. And the printhead definitely needs to be replaced. So if the ink starts to mix, it mixes inside the printhead. The printhead needs to be replaced. That's it. If there are any problems during printing, not banding, but, well, not all the inks are coming through. The dampers are clogged. Not all the inks are coming through. It's about, I already wiped it off. I can't show you, no. So the test prints have gaps, with missing sections. If the dampers are a bit clogged, it's the same situation. Either you run a lot of cycles back and forth, that is, cleaning, test prints, cleaning, test print, until it clears up on its own. Or you remove the printhead, place it here on the table, and flush it with a syringe filled with distilled water. If that doesn't help, replace the dampers. That's it. Many people just don't bother, especially Americans. They don't clean anything. They just remove the printhead, take out the dampers, and put in new ones. They're cheap. How you choose to proceed is up to you. So either you clean them with distilled water, or you just take them out and put in new ones. You know which color is starting to act up, where the gaps are, and which damper is responsible for which color. So you replace one of the 4, put everything back together, and keep printing. That's basically it.